The Honda Goldwing. I suppose arguably the best touring bike in the world. Or I feel it is anyway. A lot of people might argue, but everybody who got an old Goldwing won't argue.
No.
No.
True.
They're convinced. Yeah, this is the 1800. This one here is a 2003. We bought it new. It has, I don't know what it has. It has 41,694 kilometers on it.
Wow.
Which is not much for a bike of, how old that make it?
That makes it, was it 13.
13 years old. Now they haven't changed much. They say the 18s might change a little bit, but
yeah.
We don't know yet, or I don't know anyway. I haven't followed up on it. On the newer ones, the rear bags are different. The dash layout's different. Basically same engine, same suspension, same everything. Just a little more makeup on them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering if I said 13 or 14, was 14 years old. Just last September.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We bought it the last day of summer.
Yeah.
In when?
2003.
2003, yeah.
So that was, yeah, September 22nd would have been the last day.
So basically I'm just getting it ready to, well, I'm getting it ready to put away. Because I don't think there's going to be much left of this season, but hey, you never know.
No,
I remember one Christmas day we were out riding it, myself and our son. It was 12 or 13 degrees back then on Christmas Day. Yeah, so this bike is in absolutely mint condition. As you can see,
yeah,
there's not even a scratch on it. It's been very, very well maintained. I've always loved the Honda product, especially the Goldwing. Before the Goldwing, there was the Honda Dream.
Yeah.
And we have one of those as well. But you know what we should do?
What?
Well, they started making these in 1975, Goldwings. They were 1,000 cc's. Then in 1980, they went to 1,100 cc's, the GL 1100. Then in 84, they went to 1,200, and then they went to 1,500, then they went to 1,800 in 2001.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So let's take them back in time and show them an older wing. So for those who are wondering what I was doing in my spare time for the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, must be.
About a month. Close to 5 weeks, but anyway.
Give or take a couple of days.
Kathy was in shopping for purses and boots one day and I had the iPad out.
My fault.
Yeah, your fault. And I was idle, had nothing to do, so I was researching, and all of a sudden, saw this, not locally, but a couple hours away from here. So I said, you know what? I think it was Labor Day weekend. I said, let's go have a look. Of course, we just happened to take the trailer along just in case.
Just in case.
And we found this. Older gentleman owned it. He said it was too heavy for him now. He said it was in excellent condition, but people rate things differently than I do. When I think excellent condition, I think like almost like new. Other people don't feel the same way. But anyway, we negotiated with him and got a good deal on it. Put it on the trailer, dragged it home. I think I used it for a day or two, then I realized just how dangerous it was. So I can't continue on using it. The tires were rotted out. The wheel cylinders were leaking. The master cylinders for the hydraulics was leaking. It was just it was a nice bike to look at, but it was a mess.
Yeah, needed some maintenance.
Yeah, big time. And I mean, he had big gold stripe put here, and really didn't like that. And it had a windshield on it, and it had a backrest here and a backrest there. This is a 1980, by the way. Back in 1980, you had 3 choices of Goldwings. You had the standard, which is the naked Goldwing. Then you had the Interstate, which was, you know, half dressed. And then you had the Aspencade, which was basically something like that.
Yeah.
But all the same bike, just had more junk on it.
Yes.
Right? But I always wanted a naked Goldwing. So we dragged it home, and it was supposed to be a winter's project.
That's right.
But I got interested in it. Every spare moment I had, I went at it. And this is what you see. Kathy and I took the engine out, and she hand sanded all the aluminum parts, and I buffed them.
Yeah.
We put all new brakes on it. We put new timing belts on it because it's got 2 timing belts. We put all new wheel cylinder or caliper kits in it. We put all new kits in the master cylinder, both front and back, a new choke cable, new lights.
You know, it's amazing to be able to find parts and
Yes.
not expensive.
No, some chrome, and put a little windshield on it here, just for aesthetics. Put a little bib on it here. We still got some stuff to do with it now, but we're getting down to the end of it. I think the only thing I have left to do now is valve stem oil seals, but I want to do that when I put it up for the winter. We'll put it in there because although it's not a real difficult job, I'm too tempted to use it every chance I get. I use this more now than I use this.
Yeah.
So it's just a nostalgia. The thing is with these bikes is this bike got everything on it. It's ABS brakes with reverse. It's fuel injected. It's unbelievable how nice this thing rides. But there's nothing like roughing it on old school bikes. Man, you're lucky if you can stop, you know? And of course it's got the Boxer style engine. It looks something like a Subaru, and it runs quite well. It lets you hear it. Hang on. Oh, kill switch.
Yeah.
I did the tappet adjustment. I synchronized all the carburetors. I did the carburetors as well. So,
Wow.
and it starts just like that when it's cold. I don't even use the choke. Over here you'll see where I put a bolt gauge on. For those people who like vintage bikes, you know they don't come with a bolt gauge, so there's one I got off Flea Bay. I made up a bracket and came up here and put it on there as well. It's got really nice horns. They're original horns. It's got, of course, there's a story behind the helmet too. I took the windshield off it and I went for a ride. And I came back and Kathy saw me coming back and she said, "What's wrong?"
What's wrong?
I said, "Nothing's wrong." She said, "Sure, there's water coming down out of your eyes everywhere."
I know you were a mess.
I looked totally depressed. But what it was, I'm so used to riding something with a windshield, the eyes were just watering, so couldn't use the red helmet, so I had to get a black one. And I also put the brake light, the wireless brake light, in that as well. The latest thing I bought was these two.
Yeah.
$11 each at Princess Auto, leather.
I know.
One's on the front, one's on the back.
Yep.
A couple of clock there, and a temperature gauge there, not temperature, thermostat, or a thermometer, sorry. There. We put that there as well. A few little other things. And I still have some more work to do on it. It's got, you know, we put a new grill here on the lights.
Yes, that's very nice.
Right? So, bit of safety chrome.
Yeah.
Right? Got a new license plate frame coming for it.
Yes.
When we got it, the gentleman had regular shocks put on the back, but these always had air shocks.
Right.
So what we did is we took the old shocks that he had and we rebuilt them, put new seals, so now she's back to her air ride suspension. She has air ride suspension front and the back. Actually, I like the ride of this bike much better than that bike. Why did I buy one of these? Well, I've always loved, like I say, the naked Goldwing. We even got it called Naked Wing.
That's right.
On the helmet. But, well, you know, I wanted something that was easy to jump on and just go for a quick scoot. Jumping on that and going for a quick scoot in a small area like this, that's really a highway bike,
Yeah.
you know?
Takes a lot of work. You know, you got to go get everything ready.
Yeah, and then you got to clean it up when you get back. This here, you jump on it and you go.
Yeah, it's fast through the community.
Yeah, you come back and, you know, it's quiet. It's not invasive like that one. Nobody here you go and buy their house with
No.
it, but it's still and there's a bit of nostalgia involved with it as well. For anybody who's looking for one, get yourself a manual, because they have their quirks. They really do. They're amazing machines, but you know, the technology back then is not the technology that's gone into that. Like with this boxer engine, I have a lot of people saying, Paul, does yours smoke when you first start it up? Well, pretty well all of them smoke when you first start them up, because back in the day, this engine was revolutionary. When you park it, especially in side stand, all the oil got a tendency to run out, stay up on, get past the pistons. So when you start it, it smokes a bit. Common problem, and it's not a problem. It's just the way that was the design of them.
In the
The
day.
pistons weren't made like they are now. The rings weren't made like they are now. There's
True.
that don't do it. It's got stainless steel liners in it, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You know, for a cylinder, right? This don't, right? But it don't smoke after the first, say, 25 seconds. So I'm going to put a set of valve stem oil seals only because it's 37 years old. I can do it now and not miss any riding time. Whereas in the summer, if I wait and it gets worse, and I got to put valve stem oil seals, then I got to tie it up for a day or two.
Yeah.
What else did we do with it, Kathy? We did we did a pile of stuff. We got some changes being made, like this particular bar here, this crash bar. That's an aftermarket bar that came with the bike, but I found a guy in the States that has a new old stock Honda line crash bar, and with these back in 1980, when you got a crash bar with these, it came out like this, it came and turned, it went down like this, went back like that, and went right in under.
Oh, it's very nice.
It's a nice looking bar.
It's a nice looking bar.
Something similar to this, except it covered the whole head area.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
The shape is.
Yeah.
Like that, isn't it?
But it covers the whole head area on this, right? So, and of course the guy had a big old gold stripe here. Why did he have a gold stripe? Well, I always said anybody puts a stripe on something is trying to cover something up. And sure enough, when we removed this ugly old gold stripe, there was a little scratch in the tank. So
Yes.
I said, well, the paint was just too good
That's right.
to sand down and repaint. It was just, and I wanted to, like this bike here, I never consider this bike a restoration. I just consider it a rebuild.
That's right.
So Kathy came out and did her magic, and this is what she came up with for the tank. Instead of the big old gold stripe here like you just saw in the picture, Kathy did this, and on this. And then we started to get a little bit fancy, and Kathy put this here, and then this here. And I really thought that made a big difference to the bike. Really. Somebody asked me the other day about, from Australia actually, they emailed me and asked me about bleeding brakes on a motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
They were having trouble about bleeding their brakes. There's tricks to bleeding brakes on these things. A lot of people don't know. First of all, I rebuilt all of this, and the brake was soft. Now, I bled it, but the brake was still soft. So I was wondering, like, is it the master cylinder? Did I make a mistake? Well, what you can do is you can take a couple of popsicle sticks, and you can take a pair of vice grips, put your two popsicle sticks there. There's actually special tools for this. I'll show you one now in a second. And you can pinch off the hose here, and if this is working fine, that'll go as hard as a rock. And it was going perfect. It was hard as a rock. So I knew my rebuild was good, but I still had a soft brake. So what did I do? Which, come over, get over here. We'll just size up the caliper. You see the caliper? See the way that's designed?
Oh yes, yep.
Well, ear rises to the top, and that's the problem that we had. Well, I didn't do a very good job cleaning that. Ear rises to the top. So what I ended up doing, technically when they designed this, they should have had that bleeder up here, but they couldn't put it up here because that's where they mounted it. So what I did is I loosened these two bolts here and two bolts on the other side. I took the caliper and I turned it where this bleeder was pointing straight up, and I never even touched the brake. I loosened it up, and you can see the bubble. Tightened it up, did the same thing on the other side. Perfect brake.
Wow.
That's all it took.
That's it.
So that's a little trick for you.
Yeah, that's a nice tech tip for sure.
If you happen to buy one of these things, they're known for stator problems, which is the charging system for charging the battery. And if the stator goes, which looks like it's just a round coil, if it goes, it's out engine. You have to take the engine out of the bike in order to service it.
Wow, that don't sound good.
So what you got to look for is over here. We'll take off this side cover. You'll see a new battery. Right here is your stator plugs.
Okay.
Technically, this is where a lot of the problem arises from, is they burn inside and they can almost catch a fire. You'll see this all melted. Technically what you should do, and I will do it eventually, I'll cut the wires and I'll solder them and heat shrink them together. I won't have this plug here at all. It's a much better, safer environment for your for your charging system. Your stator is inside here, so you can't get none of this off. You have to take the engine out.
Wow.
The engine comes out, you let the exhaust go, a bunch of stuff go, then this frame lets go from here, and then lets go from over there. Carburetor stays, you let the carburetors come up, you drop the engine down, and you pull it out. It's a little harder than I just said, you know, but that's the gist of it.
Just to summarize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's doing it without all the swearing. Okay?
That's
Yeah.
extra.
Bike is pretty well all original. It's got a couple of little things on, like I put the chrome around here. It also has a what do they call it? A modulator, headlight modulator. So when I turn on the headlights, I put it on high beam.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Supposed to
Like
get
a
people's
flicker.
supposed to get people's attention.
Supposed to.
Yes, all the lights have been changed over to LED. LED, 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 all LEDs. Nothing cosmetic up and under it yet, but it will come. You know. What else can I tell you about some tricks with that? One of the most overlooked things that I've seen here in the shop with motorcycles and tire changes is people forget about the valve.
Yeah?
I mean, people come in and say, "Here, Paul, here's a tire." Well, okay, what are you going to do with your valve? Well, nothing wrong with the valve. Well, valves take a lot of abuse, especially the ones with the 90 on them,
Oh, yeah.
because they're always shaking, and eventually they crack and they craze, and you lose your valve. So anybody that's out there getting tires replaced, and if their valve is, say, more than 5 years old, replace the valve too, folks. Save yourself a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So that's a little tech tip for you as well. Other than that, she's 90% finished. We will be back when she's 100% finished, and we'll show her to you again. It's a lovely old bike. I've had a ball on this for the last month or so.
Well, you know, you've really enjoyed it.
Oh man, you know, like, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Yes.
But again, you know, it was supposed to be a winter's project, but I couldn't make it a winter's project because it was almost too good. I couldn't stretch it out that far because I anticipated on painting it. I mean, we have some other.
Yeah, you figured you might have had internal motor work
Yeah.
normally when you buy something that old,
Yeah.
but you didn't have any of that.
I did have one problem with it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I'll show you now. You listen how it starts. Starts perfect, eh?
Right.
Well, it took a fit of when you'd push the starter, well, zzz, nothing would happen. Zzz, and it clunk, 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 clunk. And that's what they call a sprag clutch. It's a one-way clutch. And it's basically 3 little rollers with 3 springs about that long that goes in the starting system so that when you hit this, they engage and they turn the engine over. When the engine starts, they just freewheel and you don't hear nothing of it. Usually, what happens is you have to take the engine out, and you have to take the back off the engine where the stator is to in that area, and you pull off this magneto, and in behind that is these 3 little bearings with these 3 little springs. But what I did notice with this motorcycle is the oil was extremely dirty. So I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to take the engine out of that to address that problem. I took the engine out to clean it up, and
That's right.
but I didn't want to take the back off the engine.
No.
So what I did, and I'll show you what I did, is I got myself a can of this seafoam. Do your research on it.
Yeah.
You're going to find that stuff really good.
Amazing product, isn't it?
What I did is I left the oil in it. Well, first of all, I changed the oil before I even got involved in this. I changed the oil, and believe it or not, down on the bottom of the engine, right next to the frame, there's an inspection cover. You can't even see it from here. And the book tells you to let the motor mounts go and get a pry bar and pry the frame out a little bit so you can get the 2 bolts out of this little cap that's on the side of the motor. When you pull this cap out, there's a long screen in there. And when I pulled the screen out, the screen was a little bit dirty, so I said, well, that's pretty dirty. So I changed the oil on it, cleaned the screen, put a new filter on it, and I put a half a can of this in it. And I drove it, I'd say, for 200 kilometers. And I came back and I changed the oil again. And of course the oil was half as dirty again. But what I noticed was, when I put this in, my starter started to work normal.
Wow.
So what had happened is all of those springs and them 3 rollers must have been gummed up. Either that or they were just plain dirty. And this stuff cleaned the varnish off them and made them move freely. And so the other day I finally drained that out, and I put all new oil in it and another new filter, and I haven't had an issue since. So this stuff saved me a lot of trouble. I think we paid $10 a can or $11 a can at Napa. So it was well worth the try because it saved me from taking an engine out.
Right.
So it has many more benefits. It cleans injectors, it stabilizes fuels, it cleans carburetor jets, controls moisture, I don't know to what degree. It quiets noisy lifters, it cleans deposits, adds lubricity to fuel, lube upper cylinders, and de-ices and anti-gels. You can even use it in diesel engines. So get online, look for Seafoam, Auto, Marine, and Fleet, and just check it out. Might be some videos on YouTube as well.
It's worth a try before getting into big repair.
Well, you know, it certainly saved me a lot of trouble.
Yeah, big time.
So that's where we're to with the bike, and so there's a little bit of tips and tricks and little hints of stuff that you can use if you're in a desperate situation where you want to try something. Sometimes $10 is well worth it, right?
That's right.
Now you can put this in fuel too, and what I've done when I did the oil change last time I did the oil change was a couple of days ago. I think I put 30 milliliters per each liter of oil, and I just added that to the oil, and it's like a maintenance item. I won't continue to do it all the time. Maybe for the next couple of oil changes I'll do it, but you know, it's been 3 days since the oil's been changed. I'm looking through the inspection window and the oil looks brand new. Whereas when I changed it the first time, the next day I looked at it and you couldn't even see through it.
Wow.
It was bad again, right? So this stuff did clean it out. What else can I tell you? That's pretty well it. That's what. So now we have a brace of Goldwings.
Yes. Me too.
Somebody said, "Oh, you're going to put this in the collection?" No, this is going to be used.
That's right.
This is going to be used, and I have used it. And it's a nice old bike. It's a survivor.
Oh yeah, definitely
You know?
is.
Back in '75 when they came out with the 1000cc engine, it looked basically the same engine as in that. It was revolutionary, you know.
I know.
It was unbelievable. People said, my gosh, 1,000 cc's. Imagine. Sure, why would you want 1,000 cc? Back in 75, I mean, I had a 750 Honda. That was huge. When they came up with the 1,000, that's crazy. Now we're up to an 1,800.
But that was the time.
Yeah. It's like a little hot rod. It's got all this power because it's all engine.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good way to describe it.
And it's fun. I did make some changes. They had big grips put on it. Really big grips. And I didn't like them, so I took them off. And these are actually the grips that came with this bike.
Originally,
yeah. And when I looked up and under, there's inserts in the handlebars, so they were supposed to originally have weights.
Oh yeah.
So I machined these and put these on as well, dampeners,
Right.
and it worked out well. So it's kind of back to where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of neat, right? Yeah, it's so it's got a little bit of that one on that one.
Yes.
Because I mean, face it, this is her Holly. Well, we call her Holly because she was signed at the factory, Holly.
That's right.
Yeah, the breather box was signed Holly.
So anyway, do we have a name for him?
Bike. I don't have a name for him, no.
Either old feller or grandpa.
Yeah. Pa. We'll call him Pa.
Pa?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll come up.
Something.
So that's it, folks. That's what I've been up to for the last 4 weeks. Off and on.
That's right.
Using up my C phone and working on bikes. So that's it. I guess we'll call it a day. Going to get this edited and upload it and let you have something to look at. It is Thanksgiving weekend for us Canadians.
Correct.
So for all Canadians, happy Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for.
We sure do.
I'm still here.
Yes.
Yeah, really. So, and Kathy's been letting me put a little bit of safety chrome on it too. So.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I haven't been on it yet because I'm still acquiring mine.
Yeah, that's right.
For our Facebook followers, still know what we're talking about.
A lot of people know the story, a lot of the story behind this that follow us on Facebook, because I'm posting on Facebook 2 and 3 times a day, so everybody knows what's going on. So we've had a bit of fun with this on Facebook. People are jumping in, getting in on the act, and it's been.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I've enjoyed posting on it and having fun with people, we've had a lot of fun coming back because people are cracking us up just with some of the remarks.
It's very interactive, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. So
yeah, it is amazing.
We've enjoyed it. So, folks, you guys take care. Have a good weekend for what's left of it for you. We still have another day coming as we're off, so.
That's right. Oh, and before we go, I want to say happy early birthday to Paulette.
Oh.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Paulette.
Happy birthday, Paulette.
Happy birthday, Paulette. I mean, she's unbelievable.
She is.
She's an unbelievable person, and her husband, Mark, is equally as nice.
Exactly. They both are fabulous.
Very, very dear friends of ours.
Oh, we're blessed to have them in our life.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know what we ever did to deserve them that good.
No.
But anyway, obviously, it must have been something I done, because you're never that good.
Okay, there you go again.
You guys take care. God bless. We'll see you next week.